Hisense XR10 laser projector and the case for flexible scale at CES 2026, the XR10 laser TV, unveiled ahead of CES 2026, proposes a different relationship between image and architecture. Where the 100U8QG commits, the XR10 suggests. Where fixed panels dictate, projection negotiates. Scale without permanence. The fundamental distinction lies not in image quality, but in spatial philosophy. A 100-inch television is a decision. Once mounted, its presence organizes the room. Seating angles become fixed. Wall treatments become irrelevant behind the panel. The display asserts dominance over its environment, requiring the space to accommodate its permanence. Projection operates under different constraints. The XR10 can scale from 65 to 300 inches depending on throw distance and surface availability. This variability represents more than convenience. It represents a fundamentally reversible intervention. The wall remains a wall. The room retains its capacity to be something other than a viewing space. When the projector powers down, the architecture reasserts itself in ways that a mounted 100-inch panel never permits. This reversibility carries design implications that extend beyond flexibility for its own sake. Spaces increasingly serve multiple functions. A wall that hosts a 200-inch projection in the evening might face windows in the morning, hang artwork during gatherings, or simply recede into architectural neutrality when entertainment is not the room's purpose. Fixed ultra-large displays foreclose these possibilities. Projection preserves them. Brightness as spatial liberation. The XR10's triple laser light engine achieves output levels that shift the traditional projector calculus. Where previous generations required environmental control, darkened rooms, managed window treatments, controlled artificial lighting, the XR10 can hold its image against ambient conditions that would have dissolved earlier projectors into washed abstraction. This capability reframes brightness not as a specification but as a design constraint relaxed. The 100U8QG demanded nothing from its environment beyond structural support. It generated its own light, controlled its own contrast, existed independently of the room's luminous conditions. Projection historically asked more cooperation from windows, deference from overhead fixtures, submission from the broader lighting design. The XR10 narrows this gap without eliminating it entirely. Ambient light remains a factor. Surface reflectivity still matters. But the threshold of environmental accommodation drops substantially. A room need not transform itself into a theater to achieve cinematic scale. The projection can coexist with the space rather than demanding its temporary transformation. Material presence and absence, the physical footprint of these technologies tells its own story. The 100U8QG, despite remarkably thin bezels and careful industrial design, remains an object of substantial material presence. Its glass surface catches light. Its chassis occupies wall space whether active or dormant. The panel exists as an architectural element even when displaying nothing. The XR10 operates on different terms. As an ultra-short throw system, it sits near the projection surface rather than across the room, typically on furniture or a low console beneath the image. The projector itself occupies space, but that space bears no fixed relationship to the image's scale. A 300-inch projection does not require a 300-inch object. The image and its source decouple in ways that fixed displays cannot replicate. This decoupling creates interesting possibilities for spatial hierarchy. The 100U8QG is always the most visually dominant element in any room it inhabits. The XR10 can be subordinate, tucked below sightlines, present but not assertive. The image appears and disappears. The hardware remains modest. The engineering of environmental tolerance achieving brightness sufficient for ambient operation requires addressing thermal and optical challenges that compound at high output levels. The XR10 employs a sealed microchannel liquid cooling system, an approach that maintains laser stability without exposing internal optics to environmental contamination. Traditional air-cooled projectors draw dust through their optical paths over time, degrading image quality incrementally. Sealed liquid cooling preserves performance across years of operation rather than months.